All right, guys, welcome to our weekly Zoom. I figured instead of listening to me yammer on for 30 to 45 minutes, you would like a little bit of a different perspective when it comes to running your Prove It business. So Dr. Jeremy wants to plug in more with our team and help us out. And just give a different perspective. So if you ever need anything, he's obviously here for you, like I am, but he's going to take the reins tonight and I'm going to take massive notes, and that's it. So take it away, Dr. Jeremy.
Hey guys, I appreciate you letting me hop on here, spend some time with you. This is not going to take very long. This is a pretty short and sweet exercise, but it's extremely powerful exercise. So I hope you have a pen and paper. If not, I know some of you, it looks like somebody's traveling. You can do this later. I'm sure Mandy's recording. So the title of this lesson is Creating 5 Pillars of Your Brand. And, have you ever went to Facebook knowing you needed to post something, but you had no idea what you were going to post, right? It's so easy to run out of ideas, or you sharing somebody else's stuff that's not really your ideas, but you don't have anything better in mind, right? So you post their stuff, and then you're trying to brainstorm and come up with ideas, but you feel like you're just kind of hitting your head against the wall with new content. And when I came across this training, it seemed super simple, but when I started applying it just completely changed my business, and I quit having those moments of not knowing what I was going to post or knowing what value I was going to bring. We always talk about that there's people out there that are looking for us, right? There's people out there, Michelle, that you guys are beside me here on my screen, that are looking for each of you for your authentic self and your values and your interests, and they're drawn to that. If they can see that in you, if they can find those things to connect to. And I think that's where our weakness is that we don't have a clear presence. We don't have a clear brand, if you will, in our social media marketing. It can become just a hodgepodge of this or that. And while I do believe we all have our own people that are drawn to us, if they can't resonate with your values and your interests and your convictions, or if you will, if they can't find those, if they can't see those clearly through your social media marketing, they don't have anything to grab onto. They don't have anything to connect with, and we can lose people simply because they don't know where we are at. They don't know who you are for sure, And so by creating the 5 pillars of your brand, it defines who you are, your key, most important characteristics that will help you from here on out, whenever you go to post, whenever you're creating your online content, whenever you're just sharing information. Does this line up with my 5 pillars? Because you want to come across to your audience as the true authentic self, not some random posts of material that you hope your audience will like without any clear direction or clear intent of posting that. And I'm guilty of that. I used to do that all the time because I didn't know what else to post, right? Besides ketones, And so what I want you to do with your piece of paper and pencil is just for a few minutes here, I want you to brain dump 25 to 30 words or small phrases that define you. Okay, there's no right or wrong answers on this. And don't put too much thought into it, because that's what my tendency is, to overthink things, right? It can be values. It can be interests. It can be hobbies. It can be convictions. It can be your why. In any combination of that, just start thinking of things, and as they pop into your mind, just write it down. Doesn't matter if it makes sense. Don't overthink it. Just start writing some words on the paper that define you, your values, your interests, your hobbies, your convictions, your why. Let's just spend a few minutes doing that. And this can be how you see yourself, or how you want to see yourself, or how you want your audience to connect with. What people, who are your people? Because they're going to resonate with your authentic self. So while you're still writing, I'm going to share my 5 pillars, and we'll continue with the exercise. My pillars are faith and inspiration. My pillars are family. One of my pillars is a combination of physician and natural health. I have a pillar of fitness, and I have a pillar of humor and fun. Think of your hobbies. Think of things that you enjoy doing. Think of things that connect with you on a heart level. And after you got lots of words on there, look up at me so I know that you're done. There's no time limit. Keep writing if you've got stuff coming to you. Good stuff. So now what I want you to do is, out of those barrage of words that you just kind of brain dumped on your paper, I want you to look over those, and then I want you to circle the 5, pick 5 out of that barrage of words or phrases that most relate to you, that you think most resonate with your true self, with your true authentic self, and circle those 5. Now these pillars may change with time. You might continue to grow this list even beyond our meeting tonight, and redefine it, and even change orders of things. But this will definitely get you in the right direction. Has everybody picked 5? Michelle picked 5. Awesome. Now I want you to put those 5 in order of importance, from 1 to 5 in order of importance. And so now, as you're continuing to do that, this really focuses in on your true self. It focuses you in on where your skill set is, where your people are, what they're going to connect with. And so whenever you go to create that content, or you go to make that Facebook post, or you're going to share something of value from you, go to your 5 pillars. If it doesn't line up with your 5 pillars, whether it's something you might share from somebody else, whether it's content you're creating, or something that looked good on somebody else's Facebook, I do that all the time. Oh, I like that post, but does it line up with me, right? You don't want to share something that's going to connect people with somebody else. That's not our goal, right? Our goal is to connect people to us and find our people. So When you're going to create that content, come to your 5 pillars of your brand. And yeah, fangirl, that takes me back. And does it line up with that? Is it within your 5 pillars? Like, for example, I have some strong beliefs about that might be alternative to a lot of people about vaccinations. Okay. But if you go to my Facebook wall, you're not going to see me talking about vaccinations. Why? Not because it's a strong belief, but it's not one of my 5 pillars, right? You don't see me talking about politics. And I have some opinions on politics, but I'm not posting about it on my Facebook. Why? It's not one of my 5 pillars. Does that make sense? And so it really makes things, a lot more simplified whenever you're coming to presenting yourself in content, presenting yourself in posts, putting yourself out there in social media, because you've defined, your personal brand. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Does anybody want to share their 5 pillars?
I will.
Yay.
Okay, so I don't know if I did this right, but I feel very good about it, and I kind of have to have a 6th. But so the first one is positivity, the second one's spirituality, the third one's wellness, the fourth one's fun, the fifth one's travel/business, and then the 6th one would be my dogs.
I love that. And I see people sharing, animal stuff, and they don't have animals. There's not a real true connection there, right? That's not a pillar for them. Why are they sharing pet stuff? But you see how we can get so confused in sharing and posting and putting ourselves out there on social media. Michelle Luna, do you want to share your 5 pillars?
Sure. I wrote down love, family, holistic healing, positivity, and humor, because I'm pretty goofy.
I'm pretty goofy too. Michelle Hickson, do you want to share?
Oh, she's muted.
Wait, I got it. Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So I have health conscious, positive thoughts, like feel good stuff. I'm a dog lover, motivational, keto lover, and motivational.
I like that. Rochelle, sorry. I was trying to get the last name right.
How many ketones have you had today?
She wrote influencer, authentic, passionate, mother, wife, friend, spirit-filled.
Okay, so I'll just explain the fangirl thing, which I think it's a kind of a lesson that we always joke, which we haven't joked about this in a while. But it goes back to the whole cutting and pasting people's things. And I also want to say something about that too, that Jeremy, I think that you can probably take back to everyone on your team as well. So Jeremy cut and pasted something of mine, and I said something about how I fangirled over Dr. Ryan Lowry, but he didn't edit the post and it said fangirl. So I was like, Jeremy, you might want to edit that because you definitely used the word fangirl. So it was a lesson for him in understanding to like not cut and paste and like really make sure that we're having a conscious awareness of like what we're actually doing. So like, this is why I really love this pillar. And then something that came up, I'm in Ray Higdon's rank makers thing. I don't pop in there all too often, but every time I do, it's like worth the $19. And when I was flipping through, he was talking about people who take other people's social media posts, not just from a laziness perspective, but from an optics perspective on someone that's voyeuring you. So somebody that's been following you for a really long time, or somebody that may be a potential customer, or somebody that may be wanting to join your team. If they, Rochelle and I kind of ping pong back and forth on each other. So if I post something and Rochelle takes mine word for word, and somebody's really genuinely thinking about joining her team, but sees that I post something first and then she posts literally exactly the same picture, the exact same thing, they're gonna feel a type of way, whether it's conscious or subconscious, that like she was too lazy to edit her post. So that may trigger a feeling of like, okay, well, how is her customer service? How does she lead her team if she's cutting and pasting things? So I know it probably sounded a little like Debbie Downerish in the chat when I said it, but like I wanted to bring this up and really make you guys aware of like, people will say yes or no to you within less than 3 seconds. And something as subliminal as that, like that could send a subliminal message to someone. So make sure that you're being aware of those types of things. And then now that we all have our pillars and posts, or our pillars to guide us in the direct post, I love this. I hope that everyone takes this serious and like really does use this for their branding. But I really want, if you guys want, you're welcome to send me a message and ask me for some sort of guidance and direction for a post per day. I don't mind helping at all about that, especially because social media is sometimes not our strong suits, right? Jeremy learned like this was I think 2 years ago around, and it's like right in the beginning when we both were just starting, and we've come a long way because we've made all of the mistakes so you guys don't have to. But definitely if you feel stuck, like I don't want you guys to ever feel like you're doing this alone, or like you have to cut and paste, or you have to do certain things, whatever in the scope of your comfortability, and like we can work together to find your zone of genius. But I'm going to ask homework before you hit me with the post. Before you want to post, I want everyone to engage in 20 people's profiles before you post, because I am seeing tremendous, my newsfeed no longer has Proven in it, has people that I haven't talked to in a really long time. I sold a bunch of 10-day experiences because from people that have been watching for a long time, but kind of got lost in the shuffle. So, if you want a post, I'm going to say go engage on 10 to 15 to 20 people's profiles first, and then we'll work together on a post. So those were my tips of the day. So I'm going to toss it back to you, Jeremy.
No, that was perfect. And you made a good distinction there. Whenever we copy and paste and somebody's been following you, it's really obvious that was not you. If they've been following you for a while, that's not your lingo, that's not your language, that's not the vibes that you've put out. And so if we're doing that a lot of times, again, people can't connect with us because they can't put a bead on who we are, because we're constantly using other people's stuff, right? And we're constantly, again, usually posting about all these areas that aren't our true self or aren't our true brand. So put these somewhere where you can see them. Again, you might fine tune this a little bit and get it a little more clear, but put this where you can see it. And when you're thinking about creating a post or putting some content out there, notice that all of our posts weren't keto, right? I think a couple of you mentioned keto, and everything else was all these other cool interests that are unique to you, that people are going to fall in love with because they connect, they have those same interests and beliefs and convictions that you do. But if we don't put that out there, we don't share that about ourselves, it's hard for those people to connect to it. So I encourage you to use these pillars and create content, create posts, create curiosity around these pillars, and not just around ketones and ketosis. So anyway, I hope that was helpful.
I love that. Does anyone have any questions or any input? No? Hey, Dan, do you mind, how is things going since we had talked and you did the training with me?
Oh yeah, great. So if I unfriended you, sorry. But yeah, because so Mandy and I had a long call, and we were talking about who's in our Facebook feed, right? And so right after we got off the call, I went and looked, and everybody, because it lists them by the top down, right? Like when you look at it, everyone was Prove It. So the only posts that I was seeing was Prove It people. So I basically unfriended almost everybody in Prove It because they were just feeding. So sorry, guys. And then I started engaging on other people's Facebook pages, posts, and now my feed is completely different. And then I went and joined like 5 different keto groups, and I've been commenting on those a lot and adding. So the idea is adding all these people as friends onto my personal page. And I've already seen a major difference. But one thing I did want to say, you can't do this in St. Louis because I've already done it. But if you're anywhere outside of St. Louis, so I started a meetup group. We talked about that. And I had a meetup group before, and I just called it keto or something. And like maybe 30 people total were interested. Nobody wanted to come to the meeting. But I called this Keto Kitchen. And Mandy and I talked about this. I'm not going to bring up ketones. We're just going to talk about, it's going to be cooking, right? And like within a week, I think I have almost 70 people in it. And 30 people are coming to the first meeting. That's a lot in meetup. So if you want to get a meetup group going, I would definitely focus on food, keto food, because that seems to be the hot topic. So, but you can't do it in St. Louis.
There's plenty of people to go around. I'm sure you're going to eventually need some help, but no, that's awesome. I wanted to, and Dan and I didn't do and if you need private training or whatever, please definitely schedule it, or ask me because I'm happy to do it. But the same tips that I gave Dan were the same tips that I did last Thursday. But I know I hadn't checked in with you, so I wanted to check in. Now, has anybody else been implementing the things from last Thursday and seeing any results or anything that they want to share or any type of feedback at all? Now is the time.
Yeah, I did. I implemented some stuff. Our natural tendency is to like our friends, our Prove It friends stuff, and so we like to put little hearts on everybody's posts and Facebook lives and videos. And the only problem with that is, and I like to love on our team, and I do, but you have to make it a limit. You have to also engage on other people's stuff, or like Dan, whenever you open Facebook and scroll down, Prove It person, Prove It person, Prove It person, right? And the same thing goes for them. They're not seeing you either. So what I've tried to do is resist the urge to hit that heart or that thumbs up every time I see one of our team's post or a Prove It person's post. And guess what? Within just a week's time, my timeline looks totally different. Now, I still see Prove It people, of course, but I see a lot of people I haven't seen in I don't know how long are starting to show up on my post because I'm not just engaging on Prove It people. And like Dan, I did get rid of a lot of Prove It people because in the beginning we just friended every Prove It person we come across, right? And that's nice and all, but it's not great for business.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing. Does anyone else have anything to add? I'm really excited for Epic, and if you need tickets, I think Tony has some. So if you would like to make a last minute trip to Epic, to Arizona, I'm really, really, really excited. Did you guys know what Epic stands for?
No.
Okay, so Brian did like a post asking like what people stand for, and I like submitted it, and I said it was exceptional people impacting keto communities, and then other people, but apparently it's just like exceptional provers something. I don't really know. He still hasn't given us the full answer, so I'm just curious, waiting for that to come out.
I wouldn't have seen that. I unfriended Brian.
You unfriended Brian? No, Brian Underwood, not Brian Rhodes.
Oh, yeah.
You can unfriend Brian. It's okay.
I already did, yeah.
I mean, I think their baby's cute and all, but it's not going to do me any business. It doesn't make any sense, so it doesn't make dollars. So,
yeah. So, yeah. So one more thing I want to say is like it's like completely, because before I was I got a couple Facebook groups, and I was messaging people, and I was taking all this time, and nobody was even opening. They weren't even delivered,
No
right?
one even was responding.
It was so frustrating. And so implementing this little friend wave, engage on their page, and then talk with them, like my response rate is like 70% now. It's people are so more engaged with this way of doing it. So good job, Mandy. Thank you for
I
saving
knew
me.
there had to be something going on. I just needed to hack it for you. No, but and Dan, you're doing the manual work that like I'm doing now again that I had gotten away from because it goes in waves. Like you plant these seeds, right? And then you harvest them, and then you like, and Jeremy, I'm sure you can attest to this too. It's just like things just kind of die. And then you're like, oh crap, like what do I have to do? Oh wait, what did I do in the beginning? All of this manual stuff that it's network marketing. You have to do the work. You have to grow your network, whether it's offline, whether it's online, you have to be having conversations. And does that mean that you need to be having conversations about beta hydroxybutyrate and like anything at all? Like you don't need to be talking about ketones, but like go back to your pillars. What makes you you? Like you love dogs, spark an interest in a dog group, and like, oh my God, your dog is so cute. Oh wait, what are these ketone things you're talking about that makes you feel so amazing as well? Because they're going to go on your feed and scroll through. But if they see you as a walking billboard sharing flyers all the time, they're going to be like, yo, I don't want to be friends with this person. But if they're seeing your amazing food recipes and your cute dogs and your cute kids and things like that, those connections that you make, those seeds are planted so that when you do go do a Facebook Live about ketones once in a while, or you do a Facebook Live with Jeremy or whatever, or with me, you know, someone's going to be like, oh, wow, I actually really think I need that. Like, let me reach out to Dan. I've already been talking to him about XYZ. So it's not weird. You've just put in the work necessary to develop that relationship. Does that make sense, guys?
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, is that anybody else have anything? Jeremy, do you have anything?
No.
Hey, Mandy.
Yes.
This is Tony. I just wanted to say, Dan, whatever you're doing is working. I just saw Dan, like, I don't know, saw him online last week. And the posts that you've been putting out really have resonated with me because I'm really into food too. So I think that network marketing is different for me. It's cultivating relationships, long distance relationships, and that's a challenge for me because I'm not the type of person that I don't do high school reunions, college reunions. So I followed your lead in the homework assignment and started reaching back out to people, and it's challenging me to do something that I'm not necessarily comfortable with because I'm more of a face-to-face relationship builder, and it's been very challenging. And this is a really good activity. And I find that I don't have 5 pillars. It's kind of like I have 2. So maybe I need to develop more interests. I definitely need a hobby.
Well, and it was difficult for me too. I was like, oh, I wonder if I'm doing this right. And I want you guys, and I want everyone to understand that, like, yes, we're talking about social media because like pretty much we're all online. Everyone runs their own lives and, you know, like is just doing this as a side gig. So it's a lot easier to really like build on social media versus face to face. But in Michelle Hickson's case, or Tony in your case, or whatever your zone of genius is, like, or you're more comfortable doing, like if you're more comfortable, you know, walking into a room and shaking up ketones and people are asking like, what are ketones, and having those conversations, or however you feel is best to build whatever network it is, wherever that is, go ahead and do that. And
Yeah.
you know, if Tony, you're trying to look for, you know, more interest in hobbies, that might be a good time for you to pop open meetup.org and join some meetup groups that resonate with you, not from a sales perspective, but from a perspective of like, okay, I know I need to get out more. I need to develop a hobby. I need to make some connections face to face. How can I do that? Let me go see what I like. Like, I think in Myrtle Beach, there's like single dog, like something, I don't really know. No one has gone to an event yet, so I haven't shown up. But it's like, you know what I mean? Like the meetup groups
Yeah.
are crazy. Like when I lived in San Diego, they had like Comic-Con, like cosplay, like dress up
Right.
type things. Like that was people's jams, and they all came to the bar I worked at, and I had to like reach out and get them all to the bar. But like whatever your jam is, and you might not know what your jam is. So there could be a meetup group on like, I don't know what my jam is. I'm trying to figure out my life meetup group. I don't really know, but whatever works, you know, like, and then if you guys need tips and tricks and want to develop other zones of genius outside of social media, let me know. I just know that like a lot of people struggle in this avenue. So this is what we teach on, but I'm open for feedback and trainings, whatever you guys feel you need.
Yeah, we all get busy adulting, and a lot of times we stop doing those things that makes us unique, those things that we enjoy doing, those hobbies that we really like, because we get, you know, we don't have time for those types of things. And I encourage y'all to revisit those things. And so you may not have any hobbies right now, but I'm sure at one time there were things that you did that you really enjoyed, that maybe you haven't done it for years, but revisit some of those things in your past that were fun, that really, you know, sparked your interest, and you'll come up with some things that'll fit you.
Yes, legal things. I know. I don't do anything illegal usually. I can't get in trouble alone. I don't do anything. If anything, it's the dogs. What's up, Michelle?
I just wanted to say, I guess I've been at this for a little while, but I still feel new. And maybe it's because I work full time.
We all feel new.
Full-time, so I feel like, you know, I wish I could spend more time at it. But I'm wanting to comment about other provers pages. I like looking on them for ideas, not to cut and paste, but I get a lot of really good ideas from, I learn from them. So, and sometimes I will comment, like if I think, man, that's a really good post, but they don't have any comments. So I want to comment to maybe like get other people to comment. So I'll try to come up with something creative, not just a little heart or a like, you know, I don't know, just something little.
Yeah.
And I sometimes appreciate when they do that to mine too. And I don't know if it actually creates more feedback or not, but I get a lot of ideas, still feeling so new, from looking at other people's things. Like, I don't know that Dan and I are friends, but I would love to friend him now that he's unfriended all the other provers. I would love to.
You can follow someone and not be friends with them. I mean, Jesse Lee.
Okay.
Jesse Lee's.
Maybe that's because I would like to see what he's doing with this whole food thing now. And that would be and I don't live anywhere near St. Louis, Dan, so I'm good. I'm good.
Well, I mean, I'm friends with Jessie Lee in real life, and she's denied me a million times. And like, she squeezes on me every time I see her in an event, and she teaches me so much because she's a beast of a human, right? And like, I understand why from a business perspective she denies me, because she calls her seats her money seats. So it's basically her team and her, her organization or whatever. And that's okay. And like, and Brian Underwood like talked about this at LCD. It's like, it's the intention, right? So like, your intention matters. Like, Jeremy's obviously my upline, but like, he sometimes asks me to go cross line to like train on his trainings. I get zero monetary value from it, like giving his team, but I'm not going to say no, because like, I obviously love Jeremy and want everyone to be successful. So like, there's nothing wrong with like going and commenting. It's just like, when we're doing it all the time and there's all provers like in our newsfeed or whatever, and like having that scarcity mindset too, it's like, I don't really care. Like, honestly, if somebody wants to come into our group and see like what we're doing, there's nothing in our group that's like really that magical or whatever. It's the environment that we have created as a team that like no one can ever steal that. Right. So I love that you want other people to win. And I love that you go get inspiration, because like, we all do. Like, Brian Underwood's taught me a million things. Like, Jessie Lee's taught me a million things. Kendra McMurphy's taught me a million things. Like, those are all people that have zero well, Brian does, but like those people have zero financial gain at all to teach me, but have sat down with me in a mastermind and like taught me so much, right? And shifted my perspective. And like that's the same exact thing that happens online too. Like you can still do that and learn so much from people. So I love that.
Yeah, I forgot that you can follow them, and then that way you can see all their information, but then you're not really a friend, right?
Yeah, it's just super sensitive on Facebook. I just can't be a follower. But
The other cool thing is when you unfriend people, they don't know, unless they actually go and physically look, they don't know you unfriended them, right?
However, Rob DeBoer did defriend me once, and I got really upset. And I was real. Do you remember that, Jeremy? I was like, I think Rob DeBoer hates me. And then I like called him out at an event, and he was like, I unfriended you. He's like, I didn't mean to. And I was like, he's like, okay, I'll add you back. And I was like, fine, my life is complete. So he always gives me crap about that still. But so I get it. But it's just, it's the intention. And, I like this conversation. It's good to have that perspective, right? We're not saying to be anti-prover, but just be strategic with your network, right? But feel free to definitely like support other people. Like if someone has a really good post and it just hasn't went anywhere, like give it a little love, And I've had people reach out to me on like Instagram or Facebook and like ask for tips or like whatever. And I mean, like, I'm not going to spend hours and hours on it, but like I'll shoot them a voice note real quick and give them my opinion or whatever. Like we're a team, and like I'm not scared. And really, like, what are you going to do? You can't really steal a customer. Like it's just silly to think about it like that, Brian actually said something really cool in Kentucky. He said something about, our Raz is so turned on to keto and we think it's everywhere because like we are obviously provers, but like if you really think of it from a macro level, like we haven't even touched the surface of the entire world yet. So like there's really no reason to like be freaked out if it's like a trend or it's going to end soon or whatever, because like we just started. Like we're a 3-year-old company, so, or coming into 4 years. So it's like, that's really something to be excited about. So, well, I am complete if you all are complete.
I'm whole.
I'm good.
All good, whole, well, and complete. All right, guys. Well, remember this is every Thursday, 9 p.m. So make sure I try to put the reminder up, but like in the chat, but like make sure you guys just pencil it in that it's 9 p.m. And if you have any topics or anything, trainings or whatever, suggestions are always welcome. And Jeremy, we appreciate you giving that awesome training.
Yeah, thanks Dr. Jeremy. That was great.
Good to see you guys.
Love it. Bye, guys.
Thank you.